Last day. What y'all want to talk about?
Well, what are some of the biggest things that you're looking to see on Saturday?
Oh, man. Just a good competitive game and really just kind of, we've got some guys that have had really good springs, and I'd like to see them kind of carry that over into that environment. We've got a lot of guys that have really had to play much bigger roles this spring than maybe they have in the past. And then you split the team. With 20 scholarship guys unavailable, it gets thin quick. So it's going to be fun, man. I just want to see them compete. I want to see some of these guys that maybe haven't played as many reps and maybe aren't going to have to play a ton of reps in the season. I want to see how they respond. I want to see how they handle it. Just see them take and execute what we've done this spring. Not have a bunch of missed assignments. Guys that haven't had much opportunity that are going to get some opportunity, show that they know what to do, and just see them go have some fun and put on a good show for the crowd. And hopefully see a huge crowd there. We're going to have a ton of recruits there. We got a lot of former players coming back. We got a lot of families that are going to be here. This is a huge deal for these players, and that's one of the reasons that we went ahead and split the team, even though we're thin in some areas, because that's the only way you can create. It's just such a rare opportunity that you get a chance to really create a game environment, in practice. So this is a great opportunity for our quarterbacks. It's a great opportunity for some of the D linemen, especially these offensive linemen. Every position, receivers, young DBs. For a guy like, Pride and Koval to be able to go out there in this environment and go play. A guy like Spector, who really hasn't played in front of a crowd in a long time. Some of our young specialists, and then again, some of those D linemen. It's a lot of reps coming for Cape Hart, a lot of reps coming for Peyton Page, a lot of reps coming for some of them young linemen, and it'll be fun.
I heard that Mickey's going to coach the white team. Who's coaching the orange and what would you look at?
Mike Reed is coaching. He is the orange team, and Kyle Richardson is the white team. So, and that's always fun. This is one of my funnest days because, I'll pick the head coaches, split the staff, and then they have to split their position, and they don't have a clue who they're coaching, so they have to split it as evenly as they possibly can, which was very interesting process. And then we kind of look at it and make sure we all agree and there's no trades or anything. I think we only had one trade this year that we had to kind of talk through. And then once all that's separated, and you got two offenses and two defenses, then we kind of bring the head coaches up. Everybody accused Reed of having a loaded coin because, you have the first coin toss, 2 out of 3. He won the coin toss, so then he gets first pick. So that means he can choose either offense or he can choose either defense. And it's always interesting to see who they're going to pick. And then I always make it well known who didn't get picked. And so he picked one of the defenses. So by default, Kyle Richardson gets the other defense. So I made sure they knew they were the default defense. And oh, by the way, he didn't pick either offense either. So now it's Kyle's, since he got first pick and chose the defense, Kyle gets the first pick of an offense. So he picked his offense, and so by default, Reed got the other offense, and then we do another coin toss for the specialist. Reed won again, so he got first pick of the specialist. Then we do another coin toss for orange or white. Reed won again. Should have gone to Vegas today, and he chose orange. So and then we kind of reveal everything to the team and the team meeting. It's always fun. It's always a fun day, and then. This day is a light day for us, and that we come out and we get some indie done, a little bit of group work, and then the last 2 periods we coach the team on how, what the expectations are for the summer. Because these guys, when we do, skills and drills is a big part of our development in the summer, and that's got to be player led. So we kind of coach them up on, again, what the expectations are, and make sure the leaders understand what they need to do, and then we split the teams, and they get, I get out of the way, and they get ready to play. They get their offense, defense, kicking game ready to go, and then we kind of come together. So this is it's always a good day. So a lot of fun, and should be a great day. I think it's going to be a beautiful day in the Valley. And again, hopefully we have a great crowd and a good competitive game. Last year was a great game. That turned out to be a heck of a game right there at the end. So it'll be fun.
Will Brandon call plays for both teams, or will Kyle
Kyle will call for one team, Street will call for one team, Mickey will call for one team, Wes will call for another team. I think that's always good too, to just challenge your staff in a different way. That's always a lot of fun. And then we're a little thin on a couple because Artavis has to be in a wedding that's been on the books for a long time. So I'm gonna have Bo and EJ coaching the receivers on one team. Bo's not gonna be able to play. He'll probably be able to play next week, but he's still not quite ready with his hammy. And then EJ, so they're gonna be the receivers coaches. Davis Allen will coach the tight ends of one team. Kobe and Spiller will have backs on one team. Kobe and Ship will have the backs on the other team. So everybody's got a job to do. Everybody in the whole building is split up. You're either white or orange, and we'll have some accountability points on the line for the winner. So it'll be fun.
Will it be hard keeping Christian Wilkins out of things?
That's going to be so. That's my next objective, which will be really interesting. So now tonight, I've got to call Christian. I have to text him the orange team and the white team, and then he gets first pick.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see who he picks. It'll be interesting, and then Austin gets the default, whoever Christian doesn't pick. So that'll be fun as well. And I think Tim Beret told me a stat today. Leave it to Tim Beret. We're doing the pregame. He had a stat. He said if Christian Wilkins loses this game, he will have as many losses in the spring game as he had in his entire career at Clemson. So I'm sure that's a stat he wants to avoid.
Did you say one of the players got traded?
Yeah, we had to make a trade. Once we started talking through it and going through it, we realized, okay, well, because there's a couple guys, you're gonna get them their work and limit them a little bit. So we had one little trade. But other than that, they did a really nice job of separating them. It was pretty even.
So how does that work, though?
We just amongst boys and friends at that time, and we're just talking it through, and everybody good with this because at that point nobody knows who they have, nobody knows who they're coaching. It's just two defenses and two offenses. All right, are these two defenses good? And once I kind of talked through a couple things, then they decided they wanted to make one little trade there. But other than that, it was all good.
Phil Moffa play for both teams, or?
No, absolutely not. Moffa's on one team, and hey, y'all gonna learn who Dominique Thomas is, and Kevin McNeil, and Wise Seegers, and Tristan Rigby. You'll be trying to figure out who some of these guys are. You're gonna be looking through your roster. That'll be fun.
Coach Richardson said last week that y'all lost confidence in the passing game last season. You feel like you've gotten that back?
Yeah, I mean, not fully yet because we don't have everybody out here, but it's hard to be confident when your best players aren't out there. It is what it is, and then so we haven't forgotten how to throw and catch around here, but we had to grow through some tough challenges last year. Again, last 3+ games with 7 scholarship receivers out, and pretty much every game, you never know who was going to be out there. It was an unbelievably challenging year. That's why when it's all said and done and you really kind of step back and remove yourself from the fray of it and you really evaluate that team and that season, unbelievable. That team overachieved. There's no question. That team had no business winning 10 games. And not only won 10 games, but were in it in every game. But that's the heart, that's the belief. And, there's a lot of silver linings that come with it too. I mean, if you'd have told me Bo and Dakari were going to start most of the games last year, or a good portion of the games, I'd have said, well, something bad has happened, and something bad happened. If you'd told me Will Swinney was going to start 3 games in the slot, I'd have dang sure said something bad happened. If you'd have told me that we were going to have 3 different centers and 7 offensive linemen, I mean, it was crazy, and most of it was one side of the ball. And we were fortunate there because defensively we were able to kind of keep us in some games and give us a chance. And then we had to get creative. It forced the coaches to have to really be creative because we couldn't just stick with a plan. We had to really create and find ways to get a first down. And then we had to really coach in a way that we haven't had a chance to coach in a while. And the struggle makes you stronger. That's what I love about DJ, man. I mean, he's got some battle wounds. He's scarred up. He's a stronger, more mature, better version of himself than we've ever seen, and that's going to serve us well. And we're going to be a team that I think has a deeper appreciation of what it looks like, what it takes, and I think that team last year really reset the appreciation on just winning. I mean, I told y'all, I think that locker room in Orlando might be the best locker room I've ever been in, and so just there's a lot of silver linings that come from last year. A guy like Marcus Tate and all the experience that he got, certainly the experience that DJ got, how the challenges that he had to go through and grow, never pointed the finger, never blamed, never made excuses, just kept his head down and just kept plowing forward. The experience that Bo and Dakari got, the experience of Brenny, just being able to get a little taste of it, it is exciting. The experience of a guy like Nate, what we were able to do with Trenton last year, I think he's just going to be at another level. Barrett Carter. I mean, there's so many silver linings that came from the season, and hopefully once we get back going in August, we get back to being a complete team. We'll have a chance to have all the confidence we need in every area that we need to win the game.
With all the guys that were out this spring, was this the most challenging spring for you guys as coaching staff?
I don't know if challenging. I mean, it was probably the thinnest we've ever had, and it's crazy. I mean, of the 20 guys that are out for spring, 2 are new injuries, and that's Adam Randall and Jay Lou. Jaden dove in shorts, and he'd hurt his shoulder in high school, but he went and came down, and that's how he hurt his shoulder. And then just a crazy deal. Adam, he stuck his foot in the ground, and that's pretty much how all these ACLs happen that I've seen in my career. It's usually, most of the time, it's non-contact, and it's like wow. But the good news is Adam is it's best case scenario. A lot of these ACLs, there's multiple ligament damage or MCL or whatever, meniscus, and his was completely isolated, very clean, no swelling at all. So that's why they can go ahead and do surgery in the morning. So he'll be back. I won't cut his leg off. He's still going to have a great freshman year. He's going to be just fine. He's just got to redirect his focus in the summer than what he would have been. He's got to really grind and get through the rehab. But he had a great spring. He's going to be very confident from that, and he'll be back and ready to go. And then Jaden Lucas will be ready to go. Everybody else is all postseason stuff. So and they're all doing great. And then we got a couple guys out. I think I told you we had a couple guys with mono. We had Bo tweaked his hamstring, nothing major there. Again, if we were next week, he'd be ready to go. Tucker rolled his ankle, but all the guys, it's all postseason surgery stuff, and they're all doing really well.
So do you think there's a possibility Adams will be ready for late fall camp?
I think anything's possible. I think I don't know if he'll be ready for fall camp, but he'll be back in the season at some point. Amari tore his ACL almost a week apart and played in the first game. Y'all were here, Tyson Pumachan tore his Achilles in the spring game and was ready the first game. So, anything's possible, but you don't put any expectations on it because everybody's different. He's back when he's back. If he's back for camp, great. If he's back into September, great. If he's back in October, great. But he's going to be back. And like I said, he'll still have a great freshman year. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
What did you learn about the inside linebackers this spring?
Very athletic, very fast, and very focused group. It's been fun moving Trenton in there and watching him, mature in a different role. I love what I see. It was good to get Sergio back the second half, so he was able to get some work these last 6 practices. But man, love what I see out of Trotter and Levante, McGuire. Man, McGuire is just like a different dude. He's got some swagger. He's playing fast. It's just a very knowledgeable group, And even though Trotter is just going to be a sophomore, he's one of the. That guy's off the charts. Football IQ and just instincts for the game. And then Barrett Carter, he's as good a football player as this entire team. He could play corner, safety, Sam, Mike, Will, running back. I mean, this guy is a very, very unique football player. I mean, he's a great young prospect. So we're really excited about it. I think we're going to be very athletic there. We're going to be very knowledgeable there. We're going to be fast. And then when we get these three dudes coming in here, you know, Woodaz and Kobe and TJ and Dudley, we'll have the depth that we need to kind of backfill that group. But you know, those first 6 guys are going to be ready to play when it comes bright light time.
Dabo, chronologically speaking, this is probably one of the youngest coaching staffs you've had in a while. I guess what kind of dynamic do you think they've had, and how do you see that kind of play?
Is it really? I didn't even think about that. Got rid of some of them old heads. That's good. Bunch of old geezers. Glad we got rid of all them guys. I hadn't really thought about that, so let me process that. I guess Wes is younger than Brent, Nick, and Todd. About the same. I don't know. Maybe Todd might be a little younger. Who else are we bringing here?
Robbie's probably skewing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Robbie's completely broken the scale on that.
That's an outlier.
Yeah, that's an outlier. Yeah, throw that one out. All right, yeah. Thomas he's got a little ways to go there. K. Rich, for Tony. They're about the same. I think they're about the same. And then who am I missing? Anybody else? I guess about it. I don't know. It's been good. You know, they're all very experienced guys and seasoned football people, regardless of, you know, if they're 38 or 48. I mean, you know, they're all very prepared and well equipped to do the job that we've asked them to do. And it's been fun. I mean, that's been as much fun as anything, putting the team together, but also getting the staff to settle out. And we've got some really good off-field support people that have joined us as well. That's been a great additions for us. So it's good. I mean, I think they're all ready to go do a great job.
Has there been any separation between Aiden and BT at punter? Pretty close.
Yeah, honestly, that's the only question I got on this team. If you ask me what question marks you have on the team, I got one question mark coming out of spring, and that is who's running out there first at punter. So to be determined. We'll see. Other than that, I mean, I think I don't really have any question marks. I think we got the right people. We got a bunch of great kids. I'm loving our exit meetings that's going on right now, and just the insight, you know, from this group. Something I always really look forward to. It's a fun team, man. This is a close group. They got, I think, all the intangibles that great teams need to have. And I think come August, when we finally get everybody back together, I think we'll have the type of depth that you need to have.
That was a little random, but when you look around college football and you see collectives popping up with NIL, just what do you think about collectives and does Clemson need?
Yeah, I don't think anything about it. I just focus on coaching my team. You know, I mean, I think that's whatever's out there. It's a natural progression that, you know, one school has a good chef, the other school is going to get a good chef. One school has 3 street coaches, the other school is going to eventually get 3 street coaches. You know, so you know, I think that probably will be some announcements, you know, on the Clemson end. I mean, again, we're limited in that area, but you know, what we can do. But I think some of the things that I've heard out there, I think are positive and would fit the purpose of our program and fit within, you know, something that everybody can participate in, you know, that type of thing. But, you know, hey, I mean, these guys, like I said many times, if they've got an opportunity to do something on their own, on their time, hey, good for them. My focus is what's going on when they show up, you know, and preparing our team and all that other stuff, you know, and then making sure they've got the resources that they need to help navigate, you know, those external things.
This is kind of another kind of random question, but you know, thinking back to your time at Alabama, what were your first impressions of William McCorvey and you know, what kind of impact do you feel like he's had on you?
No, I didn't like Woody. I didn't like Woody. We laugh about that all the time. And it's just crazy how, you know, you just, and it was simple, you know, Tommy, and those of you who've been around Tommy was 100 miles an hour. He was wide open, especially as a receiver coach. You know, he was my first receiver coach, and that's all I just spent a year with him. And he really, and I knew he liked me, and I had advanced, and I was in position. I was like, man, I'm gonna really get a chance to compete. I played in a game. He took me to a couple games, took me to the bowl game. It wasn't like it is now, where, you know, everybody goes. I mean, it was different in those days, and so I felt good. And then all of a sudden, you come back from the bowl game, and all the coaches are gone. And as a walk-on, going in my sophomore year, I mean, you start over, like you're back at the bottom, and that was a very tough thing for me. And that spring of '90, my redshirt sophomore year, you know, Coach McCorvey came in. He's the new receiver coach from Clemson, and if you know Woody, he's not a man of many words. And, you know, but when he says something, you better listen. But so I went from Tommy, who's 100 miles an hour, to Woody, who didn't even really know my name. Or I didn't think he knew my name. And I went from playing in a game, I didn't even get a rep in the spring game. And I was so mad. I was, you know, young and immature and angry and mad. And you know, my mom's there, my grandmother's there, you know, and I don't even get in the spring game. Like, that's why to this day, somebody's getting fired if everybody doesn't get in the spring game. All right, like, everybody gets in that spring game, one way or another. You know, there's a grandmother up there, and they're gonna see everybody gets in that spring game. But I didn't get in the spring game, and I remember after that game, I was so down, and I was frustrated, and he really, you know, he hadn't said my name all spring, and so I just didn't think he liked me. And, you know, there were some guys that were getting opportunities that I had already moved in front of, but because I wasn't on start, I was back at the bottom, and so literally I thought about leaving. I was, you know, gonna hit the portal that summer. I mean, literally I was out, but back in those days, you know, you had to go down to play, and I was at a point in my career then where I went from, all right, I just want to make the team, I just want to get on the team, and then it was like, all right, I just want to, somebody maybe learns my name, and then all of a sudden I play in a game, and then I'm like, okay, I got a little chance here, and then I go right back to the bottom. I don't get in the spring game, and I'm gonna transfer. Man, I'm going to North Alabama. I'm going, and I was at that point where I really wanted to play, like I knew I could play, and I really wanted to play, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go North Alabama, Division II, and I'm gonna be the man. You know, that's kind of where I was. Heck with all this. But what had happened to me, all my priorities were out of whack. You know, everything that I had wanted to do in life, I had gotten away from. You know, and now all of a sudden it was about football, it was about me, it was about my opportunity. I'm not getting to play. And instead of getting my degree, you know, I wanted to go to med school. I was in pre-med. You know, I was so focused on the wrong things. And an old teammate of mine at North Alabama, I remember calling him, and I'm like, man, I'm coming. He's telling me about it, and he's like, his exact word, he said, are you crazy? This is what he said. And I mean, he's one of the, you know, receivers in the team, and he and I'd gone to high school together. He's like, wait, dude, you're at Alabama. Are you lost your mind? You're getting to do this and this. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to play. And this guy don't like me, blah, 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 blah. And then my mom, my brother, Tracy, Mayor Hayes from Pelham, they talked me off the ledge. You know, my mom sent me this. She sent me this poem, Don't Quit. You know, I still got it. Even though that poem, Don't Quit, you know, life's trudging seems uphill, you know. It's like, you just never know what's coming. And if you don't quit. And so, but I finally just kind of had a reset with my faith and a reset with everything, like, okay. And I got my attitude right. My attitude stunk. And I just completely changed my mind, and I said, you know what? I've made a lot of friends. I've already achieved more than I ever dreamed I could have. I mean, it was a dream just to get on the team, a dream to get in a game. I mean, I'm out here, I'm in Alabama, and I'm like, this is my dream. Nobody in my family ever had an opportunity to do something like this. And I said, all right, if this is the way it's going to be, I'm going to be the best scout team receiver in the history of scout team receivers. I'm going to be the best. That Bill Oliver he's going to brag on me in every staff meeting, because that's how, so, and that was my mindset. So I changed my mentality. I changed my mindset, and I quit worrying about things I didn't control. I didn't control Woody. I didn't control any of that stuff. I just got focused on what I did control. That was my preparation, my effort, my faith, my priorities, and man, I just was freed up. And I go to camp that year, and next thing you know, first 2 games, 2 receivers got hurt. Next thing you know, game 4, got to dress. Didn't get to play. Woody ain't talked to me yet. Next thing you know, I'm at Tuesday practice, and Woody calls me over. I'm telling you, he ain't said a word to me since he got there January of '90. Not one word. And he'll say that's bullcrap, but that's the truth, all right? And I remember he had just turned 40. He had just turned 40 October of that year, and he calls me over on a Tuesday practice. He said, "Hey, you got a white jersey?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't know. I thought I was in trouble or something. He goes, "Get in there and put it on. I'm gonna give you a chance today. If you do good, you play in Saturday." That's exactly classic Woody. Exactly what he said. I went in, I put on my jersey, I came to practice, I had an unbelievable practice. When I got back out there, it was one-on-one time, and he kept his word. I played that Saturday, and I never didn't play again. And I went on later that year and got a scholarship, and then he became like a father to me. He became one of the greatest leaders and mentors that I've ever been around. And but it was just in the beginning. I don't know who asked me the question. It was a long answer, but in the beginning, I didn't like him, because I didn't think he liked me, and I didn't think he was giving me a chance, and it was, bad attitude, and I didn't think he was paying attention, but he was paying attention, and that's why I tell people all the time, you never know who's watching, so just be great at whatever you're doing, and prepare. You better prepare though, all right, because you don't ever know when the opportunity is going to come. And again, here we are now. How many years is that? 1990? What is this? 20? There you go. 32 years later, he and I, we're thick as thieves. It's crazy.
Anybody else?
If you'd have told me sitting in that meeting room in Tuscaloosa in 1990, he walks in there with his cowboy boots on, and his, he was always dressed to the nines. And if you'd have told me that me and him was fixing to go on a 32-year journey, I would have. There's no way, there's no way. No, especially after that spring game that I didn't get in. Not one snap. Unbelievable.
So in 1990.
Still mad?
I'm still mad about that.
1990 was the transfer portal, a sewer system under Tuscaloosa. Is that how you transferred?
The what?
The sewer system under Tuscaloosa. Bad joke. Transfer portal.
Yeah. That was the transfer portal. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
I have to
Coach.
explain that one to you.